Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, we thank Crimson Ironworks for sponsoring today's show. Well, the lead story today is Donald Trump's endorsement of Thomas Massie. Now, I know all the people that are around the Massie campaign, and I am not going to publicly speculate who got this endorsement for Massie, but I have a pretty good idea. Thomas Massie, of course, is running against Claire Worth. I want all of you to know, if you're a Massie supporter, I have always supported Thomas Massie until this election. I've given him some money. I've always gotten along with the guy. I've always agreed with 99% of the stuff that he's done. However, over the last couple years, I've learned to not appreciate Thomas Massie. He does things to be cute, to be a smart ass. In my opinion, he doesn't serve our district well. Now, so you all don't get upset with me. That's the reason. And I'm candid about it, okay? I'm candid about it. Now, I endorse Claire Worth. And one of the reasons why I supported Claire Worth is I'm aligned more with her as it relates to Trump. Now, here's what puzzles me about this endorsement. Thomas Massie supports McConnell, and McConnell supports Massie. Thomas Massie said awful things about Trump. Trump said awful things about Massie. By the way, just a year or two ago. This isn't long history. In addition to that, Thomas Massie is not done a darn thing about the January 6th stuff. Thomas Massie doesn't think the election was stolen. So on these major Trump supporter issues, Thomas Massie is AWOL. So this doesn't make sense to me, except I think I know why it happened and how it happened. And I feel really bad for Claire Worth. However, there's an old Chinese proverb. It's Chinese since we all hate the communist China, but this was before China became, all these proverbs came before China became communist. About a Chinese emperor who once asked all of his wise people to go out and find a statement that is always true that he could put above the door of his palace. What is the one thing that is always true? You know what they came up with? This too shall change. You never know what's happening in the future. You never know what the reaction is. You never know what divine providence creates. And my point on this is this. What Massie supporter wasn't already supporting Thomas Massie? It's my understanding there's a lot of undecideds in this district. How fired up do you think the Worth supporters are now? Do you think one Worth supporter is going to abandon Massie because of the endorsement? And what's great about it for Claire is this endorsement comes on the endorsement of J.D. Vance, which leaves all of us Trump voters scratching our heads. Mike Gibbons was Trump's 2016 Ohio State finance chair. Jane Timken helped him. He didn't have to endorse. He did not endorse Jim Renacci. So Gibbons supporters, Timken supporters, and Renacci supporters are not happy. Now, in Kentucky, he even endorsed Guthrie in the West Kentucky congressional seat instead of Watts. Guthrie is a spending, out-of-control rhino. And Trump has now made it known. He's now lost in Nebraska. We'll cover that in a minute. But Trump is all about making sure that, A, they win, or there's a financial benefit to him, is a mistake. Now, before you get all, if you're a Trump person, all kilter, I'm 100% for Trump. Supporting him from day one, I still do. His presidency, he got a raw freaking deal. I stand with him on McConnell, the election, and January 6th. And I continue to. I hope I get the Trump endorsement. But I disagree with this. And I'm allowed to disagree. When you think about what these people said about Trump that are getting his endorsement, I think it's okay if I disagree with the president on these endorsements. And I do. Musk says banning Trump from Twitter was a moral mistake. Jack Dorsey's now agreed with him. Do you believe that? So he's going to be welcomed back to Twitter. FDA baby formula. There is some place in Michigan, I understand, that makes this formula that the FDA, due to just 2 deaths, is shut down. How terrifying is it if you're a mother and we got a baby formula crisis because the federal government is locking down the baby formula manufacturer? Both of Trump's congressional choices in West Virginia won, including the one that ran against a Manchin choice. Trump lost in Nebraska. I think his guy finished 3rd in Nebraska. Guy had a lot of problems. The polling on Joe Biden is just awful. Let's hope it keeps being awful. The White House says peaceful protests are okay on the Supreme Court justices. Where did Donald Trump not say peaceful protests down at the Capitol? And when it went south, responsible. Well, what's going to happen when these Supreme Court justices' protests go south? Mike Tyson will not be charged with beating the hell out of that guy that was threw a bottle at him, nor should he be. Trump tightening in Pennsylvania. Oz, as you can see, 22, got the Trump bump. But McCormick is at 20%, and Barnate has jumped in. She is the black Republican running, and she's closing fast. And lower unfavorable, which means she's more likely to get most of those undecideds. We'll see what happens. Murders in this country were up 35% in 2020. Murders with a gun. You wonder why? Think about that. Biden actually said that he confused his words, that inflation was a strength. Can't make it up. And our electric, that's not elective, it's electric. Our electric grids are going to be in trouble this summer, and we've been already told to expect blackouts. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, as I say every day, it never stops. Every single day, what's going on in this country, it's unbelievable. By the way, I've been talking around a lot of people that said that they've been to events where there's former Biden people and like liberal Democrats there, and they have had enough of Biden even. In other words, his support is collapsing universally. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.